Your mind has been programmed for failure, not for success. However, what if with a simple switch you could force your mind in order to make progress forward towards your goals rather than take you backwards again? How would that be? My name is Michael, and for over a decade I have studied everything around how this thing works so that we can work better with ourselves instead of against ourselves. And what I want to do in this video is give you not one, but two ways in which you can basically force your mind into the kind of behavior that you want, that you know is going to help you in your life. So before I dive into these two methods, it is important to realize that your mind is not your friend when it comes to just achieving your goals and doing more. Because that's why you're here, right? You know you can do 10 times or 100 times more than you're currently doing. So because I've been able to fix my own mindset from feeling like a complete loser to being confident and to being like someone who actually takes action. Because of that, I want to give you the same transformation. So first things first, what I need you to understand is that your mind, as well as my mind and everyone else's, we all work in similar patterns. And our minds, they are lazy as fuck by default. So the way you can think about this is that we were built, our minds, in prehistoric times, even as primates, as apes. What happened was that food in those times, it was very scarce. So what happened if you didn't get enough food, but you still had to walk around, you still had to be active? If you couldn't get enough food, enough resources in order to survive, it was game over. Our ancestors would have died. And so because of that, as a protection mechanism, our minds became lazy. Our minds don't want to exude any kind of effort unless it is essential to our survival. Because of that, we have been able to survive. So it's not a bad thing. However, in today's day and age, when you can just walk over for 10 minutes to the grocery store, we don't need those kinds of patterns. But they're still there in our minds. The second thing our mind does is it defaults to patterns. So when something has happened multiple times and again and again and again and again, our mind is gonna go into some kind of algorithm, so to speak. If this thing happens, then I will do this. If this other thing happens, then I will do that. That is a pattern that we can exploit, basically, in order for you to reach your goals way faster. So think about it like this. If you had a separate room in your house where you have a work computer and you exclusively use it for work, what your mind is going to do is that it associates you going into that room and turning on that computer with, this is work mode right now. And your mind is going to drive out a lot of the other thoughts about maybe watching Netflix or playing video games. Because when I go to this room, then I will work. See the thing? You make an association. And over time, that becomes a pattern. It becomes automatic. And that is how you build a habit. And then once you have this pattern of, if I go to this room, I will get to work. If I turn on my computer, I will go and work on my business. If you make that association, in time it becomes a habit and your mind is going to automatically do that for you. However, here's where a lot of people go wrong. They have that same room, the same computer, but one day they are going to work on their business, the other day they're going to watch Netflix, the other day they're going to play video games. So now, when you go into the room, your mind gets confused. It does not have this, if this, then that kind of pattern just written. Because you do a lot of different things. You have diverting routes that your mind can go in. And when it is not sure which route your mind needs to take, what it's going to do is it's going to default to the one that costs the least amount of energy. Because by default, your mind, it is lazy. And it's going to go towards what is easy and what is most fun in the moment. So in that case, it's likely going to go towards video games or Netflix or whatever you watch on your computer. So the way you can reprogram your mind to automatically go for your goals is to create exclusive IFTT scenarios. If this, then that. I gave you one powerful example. So if you work on your laptop towards your goals, create a separate area in your life where you only go when you want to work. On that note, let me give you one simple hack that's gonna improve your sleep dramatically. Do not take your phone to bed. Because what you want to do is you want to have your bedroom and your bed where you create this IFTT scenario. If I go to bed, I will go to sleep. Because when you take your phone, you create, if I go to bed, I will scroll on my phone for an hour. That's the connection that your mind is going to make in that instance. So what you want to do is you want to have your bedroom to be associated only with going to sleep. Or maybe some of the other things that you do in the bedroom, right? Wow, chicken, wow, wow. But anyway, you want exclusivity in your mind. Or at least you want to have this box. It doesn't have to be a physical location, but you want to have this box that under these conditions, I will do X, Y, or Z. So you can even make this association of when I put on my gym clothing, I will go for a run. And now, rather than forcing yourself to say, oh, I gotta go to the gym for an hour, what you will do is you just tell yourself, you know what, I'm just gonna put on my gym clothing. And that first step gets you moving. Because now your mind is gonna say, oh, we are putting on our gym clothing, which means we're gonna work out. And that connection is gonna create the pattern, the behavior that becomes automatic, that becomes easy, that becomes simple. Your mind loves those three things. So when you create that pattern, your mind is gonna execute it time and time and time and time and time again. So I promise you 2 ways to put this into motion. The second way has actually been used by a lot of athletes. So for example, Michael Jordan would have his lucky shorts from, I believe, like the university he went to. And he would have them under his real basketball shorts. Roger Federer, he also had his headband. And he tried playing without it for a couple of times. And he quickly reverted back to it. Because when he put on that headband, it put his mind into the state of, now it is time to perform. So with some kind of token, for example, you can shift that once you pick it up, or once you do a certain ritual, like holding it in your hand, or even when you put on a certain hat or a shirt, you put your mind into work mode. So one example of this, I literally just a couple of days ago bought a new polo. I had like printed a logo on the chest as well as on the back with the phrase, bring that fire. And moving forward, I'm gonna use that shirt when I'm recording content. So when I put on the shirt, it is go time. It is time to bring that fire. It is a token, something that's gonna put my mind into the mode where I'm like going all out, where I'm creating content for you. So when I put on the shirt, it is go time. And when I'm just going through like some other stuff on the internet, or when I'm just relaxing, I make sure I'm not wearing the shirt. So once you can create some kind of connection with an item, a token, a location, where that token or the place creates an exclusive thing, you will associate that with the work, the habit, the action that you want to take. So go ahead and just take out one of these things. A pen, take out a piece of paper, and just write down, what do you want to achieve? What are your goals in the moment? And what actions will get you there? Once you have those 2 things written down, go and ask yourself, how can you create an exclusive frame of mind somehow? That's gonna put you into the mode where your mind is in time automatically gonna take it over. Where If you do this thing, your mind automatically shifts towards doing that action that's going to get you the goal. And when you do that, when you find this pattern and create it, your mind is basically forced to bring you closer towards your goals. So if you find this helpful and exciting, go ahead, give this video a quick thumbs up, and then click this video on the right next, because that is going to help you to get more done, even if you don't have an ounce of discipline. So go ahead, click that recommended video on the right of this one, and I will see you inside.